Welcome to Stavanger. So I've just arrived in Stavanger Sola Airport to meet up with the two other Norwegian YouTubers, and I'm on my way outside right now, and hopefully they're out here waiting for me, because the weather we have right now is not the weather that was forecasted. So let's see. Hei, god dag. Dagen. Hyggelig. Here's our, what can we call it? Hotel for the weekend? Airbnb? Our crib? Yeah, our YouTube crib. You know, walking around with a full-frame camera like this A7RV paired up with this full-frame Sigma 24-70mm lens out in public, turned around, talking to the camera like this, you do get a lot of attention from people around you. And that's why I bought the camera I'm filming on right now. It's the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It's a tiny camera with a gimbal on top that gives you steady shots when walking around, and it's so small that you can just put it in your jacket pocket. So that's what we're testing out in this video, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 for vlogging for trips like the one I'm on right now. So Stian, what is the benefits of having a DJI Osmo Pocket 3 compared to a big-ass camera like your brother is having over there?
Well, I'm using the same camera as he does, but when I was bringing the ZV-E10 with Sony 12-24 GM lens to America a couple of weeks ago, I was shooting about 8 seconds in a 10-day trip because it's too large. This one, it's tiny. I can put it in my pocket so I can bring it everywhere I go, and the image quality is really good, and the size, main reason for me.
So we can actually say that the biggest reason is the smallest reason, because the size of the camera is so beneficial that you can just put it in your pocket and bring it everywhere, right?
Yep.
Now we're in Stavanger Photo, which is a big photo or camera store in Stavanger. And they have sectioned out this camera store in 3 sections. They have the camera section over here, which they have cameras, lenses and microphones, stuff like that. Then they have this middle section here, which is the production section of the store. Here they develop photos. They're able to frame the photos whatever size they want. They have this section over here, which is a studio section. In this section they have this big sized white section where people can come in, take family photos. They have had the famous Norwegian band Kaiser's Orchestra that is from from Stavanger, and they were in here and they took their album cover photo over here. Then they have this section over here, which is more like a YouTube studio setup. We're going to film an episode of my Norwegian podcast, Photo Nerds, later on today. Then they have this section over here, which is a photo workshop place. And yeah, they really worked out a good way to use this location. And it's really cool to see a really big actual studio. And here we have Jon Willy. He's trying to do some really good
B-roll.
Making B-roll.
Yeah, making B-roll. Move your legs, not your arms. I learned it from Lindgren.
You have to have the movement of in your hips and your knees to be able to make B-roll.
I wish I had what is it called? Filter, the polarizing.
Polarizing filter. Yeah.
Polarizing, because there's a lot of reflection here now.
These three swords behind me is part of the Norwegian history. It's part of Harald Hårfagre's gathering of Norway, isn't it?
It was a battle of not Norway. Battle of Hafrsfjord.
Yeah, gathered the kingdom to one. Harald Hårfagre was a Viking, was he? Some sort of a Viking. And he gathered Norway into one kingdom, we think. These swords, they're actually 9.5 meters tall. So it's quite tall, actually. It's one of Stavanger's main attractions when it comes to tourists. A lot of tourists take photos of these swords, and we had to take a look when we were in Stavanger. Right, guys?
Sure.
How many times have you been here before?
I've been driving past this for 4 years, every day.
And never stopped.
Never stopped and walked over here.
Oh, so it's the first time for you also. Yeah.
I think so.
Have you been here before?
Many times.
Now we're at Hjerte for Sandnes, which is Jon Willy's workplace. Jon Willy has implemented this place in some of his videos, so it's a lot of fun to be able to actually watch this place in real life. And over here we have the Mister himself.
Yes. Here's
So,
the Mister.
welcome to your workplace.
Thank you.
And we have his brother, Mr. Stian.
Brother from the same mother.
Yeah, brother from the same mother. And this is the studio.
This is the photo wall and this is the video wall, kind of. I've been using both.
Yeah, I recognize this shot. I feel like I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you set your camera here on a tripod and then you film yourself coming into the studio?
Normally around there.
It's strange to see things you've seen on videos before in real life. You kind of feel familiar, but it's kind of not at the same time. So, yeah. And as usual, I forgot to film a good ending to my trip to Stavanger, so I'll have to do the ending here. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is a surprisingly good camera to bring along for trips like the one I just had to Stavanger, and the benefits of the camera is definitely the size of the camera. It's so small that when you have it inside of this casing that you get when you buy this DJI Osmo Pocket 3, you can just put it in your jacket pocket and you have it with you wherever you go. Now you can say, of course, you have your phone with you wherever you go also, but sometimes you do want to have that phone for a phone call, or you want to answer some text or whatever. Having an extra camera to film with this size and having a gimbal on top of that, in my opinion, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is a good camera to bring along for trips like the one I just had. The gimbal on top does give you stable shots. Of course, it doesn't compensate for the up and down movement, so you do have to walk a little bit more careful when filming to get those extra steady shots. But with the gimbal on top, you're more likely to get stable shots than without a gimbal. So that's also a benefit of the camera. And it films in D-Log if you want to film in a flat profile that you later on color grade in post. But for my trip to Stavanger, I only used the auto mode of the camera just to have the ease of use of the camera. I didn't want to dial in the settings, the white balance, the ISO and stuff like that. I just wanted to film and not think about filming. I think the image in this video looked a little bit too sharpened for my liking. I think if I were to film in D-Log all the way, I would have liked the image a little bit more. But filming in auto mode, just for the ease of use, I think the image was really good nonetheless. So, do I recommend the DJI Osmo Pocket 3? Of course I do. I think this was a really good camera to have with me on the trip. The small size, having it in your jacket pocket, just take it out of the case, turn the screen around, and you're ready to film. So it does turn on really quickly, and you're most likely not going to lose any special occasions when you're having this camera with you. So that's it for this video. I do hope you got something out of it. If you did, please hit that like button down below, subscribe if you haven't done that already, and maybe I will see you in another video. Bye.